So, since we cleared out Facade, we have another big old battery of side quests to do. This is probably the largest of the lot, and it is also the last one for quite some time. Once we finish off all the side quests that we're going to be doing now, that'll be it until the second half of the game, actually. And since we cleared out Facade, the first place that we want to go is this guy in the village, who naturally sends us straight to, Seafront. Huh. We actually have a couple of things to do in Seafront. The first of which is to find that guy's missing son. In case you weren't paying any attention, he said that his poor little angel ran away from home, and now we've got to go find him. Also, he wears a weird hat. His poor little angel is this 20-something bumpkin over here. You can tell it's him because he has a funny hat, and he's the only person in Seafront that's not wearing a sash. He's a bit weird, and a bit bohemian, I suppose is a good word for it. I guess doesn't want to take up the family business. What a rebel. Of course, this is unnecessarily complicated, to the point where even NIER really doesn't want to deal with this shit. Can't blame him. Now, under the best of circumstances, I usually have extra mutton. And, you know, usually have some amount of goat meat. I sold all my mutton now. But I have plenty of goat meat. Which added some amount of annoyance to this. I just needed to run back out and kill some sheep. Which is what I planned on doing immediately after talking to him. Except I remembered something. There are two reasons to be in Seafront after you finish Facade. One of them is to do that, the quest for that guy in the village, find his son. The other of which is to talk to the guy up here, by the lighthouse lady's little lighthouse. And there is a very, very good chance that if you aren't using a guide, and you aren't like me and just randomly run around cities for some reason, you'll miss this guy. An extremely good chance. See, he's got a side quest marker over him. And on the map, he shows up as a side quest. But when you talk to him, you don't get a side quest. You have to go back outside, then run back inside. And his dialogue changes, but you still don't get a side quest. And the really fun part about this is that, again, unless you run back and forth, and unless you just talk to this guy after leaving Seafront and walking back in, you'll never realize that he has a side quest. He doesn't show up when you talk to Devil in the tavern. There's nobody else who indicates that he's here. And the real dick move of this entire thing is that if you do every other side quest in the first half of the game, you know, the first half of the game, you wind up with a 50% completion rate when you look in Vice. This guy is the 51st percent. And unless you're aware of the fact that he is the 51st percent, and that you're looking for an extra 1%, there's a very good chance that you will look at all your side quests, and you'll see, oh, halfway done, and you'll move on, and you'll never realize that you're missing this one guy.
Such affection. This man has clearly been entranced by his lover.
If you ask me, I think he's being played.
Whatever do you mean?
Maybe this is one of those things that a magical grimoire just can't understand.
Ridiculous. There is nothing beyond my knowledge.
Must be nice.
Anyway, that guy's an asshole. If you didn't actually pay any attention to what he was saying, he's saying that he wants us to find a piece of fluorite, which you can only find in Facade. And he wants this fluorite because it's extremely expensive, and he's going out with a very classy lady who will only stay with him because he has lots of money. I feel like we're facilitating something wrong here. And what just actually happened on screen was I ran past the sun because I forgot you have to go straight to the Tavern Keeper. The sun won't take any ingredients.
Yo.
And that's why the sun won't take the ingredients. He sends you off to the tavern and runs away. And just to show this off, yeah, he's gone. He saw you run through the door and skedaddled as soon as possible. Or he turned to that bird. In which case, I say let him go, that's pretty cool. But we have an obligation to at least report back to his father.
Yo.
Thanks, guy.
What's wrong?
How can a son bring so much despair to his parents? He seems completely ignorant of the pain he has brought them. It's deplorable.
I love it when you sound like a grumpy old man, Vice.
Perhaps I only sound that way because I have existed since time immemorial.
How old are you, anyway?
You know, I'm not exactly sure.
They say memory loss is a sure sign of old age.
That poor family.
Subject. So when you get to Seafront, you actually want to turn right back around and talk to this guy. There is a very good chance that you'll run around Seafront trying to find things, and all you're looking for is the man who's standing right behind you. And as you can see, he says that the son ran off to Facade. So, finally, we head toward Facade. One more thing before we go there, though.
Hey there!
More gift delivery. More needlessly fragile gift delivery. Same rules as ever. With one little twist, Facade doesn't have any boars. We can't just boar drift Facade.
You want to try your hand at this job, Kaine?
Are you serious? Hell no.
Hussies are only good for breaking things anyway.
Maybe I'll start with you.
Well, anyway, same as ever. We just have to get our fragile parcel across the desert. With no taking damage, no dodge rolling, and no boar. There is a minor snafu in that the desert has lots of enemies. And you can't approach the desert when it doesn't have lots of enemies. And it's not like you can exit and then enter until you have a good weather condition. These These enemies spawn specifically when you're doing this quest. It doesn't matter. They will always be there. There will always be a million wolves. Only for this quest. You can come out to the desert any other time, and there will be no wolves. None until you go into the sandstorm. No. Here, we're already being trailed by 5 of them. We saw 4 at the entrance. There's like a million others that are spawning behind us. You can have like 20 wolves on screen at once, trying to kill you because you're trying to deliver a gift. In addition to that, there are scorpions. The path that I ran along, the very specific path that I ran along, I found works best because you dodge behind that sandspout well at the end, and usually there's like, I guess 3 scorpions in front of it, so if you don't dodge behind it, there's a very good chance they will jump out and stab you in the face, and there goes your whatever the hell we're delivering. Glassware. There goes your glassware, because a scorpion stabbed you in the face, and then a wolf ate you. But that's done now. It's done now, and we can go ahead and do some nice, relaxing facade side quests.
Roll.
As long as we don't say any bad things about the prince.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Research.
Rule number 3792. You can't actually ask what an item is. Sure, buddy. Whatever floats your boat. Before we do any of the side quests, though, we want to talk to this guy. I mean, we could do this after taking on some side quests, but as long as we're here, he gives us a royal compass. Now, the royal compass is an item that you can only get after you originally leave Facade and return to the village. You can't just turn around and come back to Facade, you have to actually go to the village. Well, you don't need to trigger the next step. You need to go to the village and then come back. That and what we're going to get after this. And the royal compass, only by having it are you able to go through that big sandstorm that Fira led us through to get to the Baron Temple. Without it, you will always be able to run, I guess, about 20 feet inside and then get turned around. The other important thing that we want from here is from the advisor, who gives us usage of the sandspout wells. I only just realized that it's Vice who says you'll do what now. Which sounds more like a confused NIER line, but that's okay. I like confused Vice lines too. And also up here, who doesn't give us anything, but there he is the king. Right, camera, and there, yeah. Who is, treating his royal mask with all the respect that it deserves. Even a king, but especially not a 10-year-old boy. He's so serious about it, too. Very minor note, you can only get up to this part of Facade, that particular level of rooftops, by going through the mansion. And nobody's up there. There is one NPC that hangs out up there, and he doesn't really do anything. If you're trying to talk to everybody, he'll probably annoy you, but that's it. Now, actual side quests. That's cute. He only does it because it's this lady's daughter? Lady? Could be a guy. Wait, what?
These rules are absolutely preposterous. We cannot even tell that person what we wish to purchase. Never in my life have I seen such foolishness.
Ah, it's no big deal.
Come now, this must bother you.
It does, but I trust they have a reason for it. Something meaningful that we just don't understand yet.
That is a very broad-minded thing to say. Are you feeling well?
That was almost a compliment.
Well, a backhanded compliment. Now, they asked for round, striped food objects, and that's pretty easy. They want watermelons. Not berries, not pumpkins, watermelons. Watermelons are really expensive. Fortuitously, I have an excessive amount of money, but under normal circumstances, the best thing to do would be to buy, 10 watermelon seeds and just plant those and exploit them. That, I think, only costs about 800 gold instead of 8,000. And we, don't nearly break even, but that's okay. At this point, we don't really need to break even. The rest of Facade will basically do that for us, honestly. So that was one of the easy ones. Nice, simple, fetch questy? It's only 30 feet away, but I guess technically you're fetching something. This one's a little more complex. I like how there's a rule that says you have to talk to people. Or at least see them.
This is one strange game.
This is one strange city.
You got me there.
Ah, speaking of which,
What?
I trust you have not forgotten the message.
No.
So, we're playing telephone across the city.
やりだって置いてった。
Hey.
And we're playing telephone, and we're learning a couple of things. Just by osmosis here. All of these messages are obviously linked in some way to the Facade culture. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. Most of them are linked in some way to the Facade culture. The first one, of course, the people of Facade respect their rules. Now, the second one is the Men of the Mask work for the king. The Men of the Mask are the soldiers, basically, of Facade, and... And it is notable that they don't work for the city, they work specifically for the king himself. This one does not have anything to do with the culture of Facade, it's just that children are horrible. I mean, childcare can be difficult, not children are horrible. Where did that go? They're hanging out right here. Now, the other thing that this little run accomplishes is familiarizing yourself with the layout of the city. It has a lot of, well, I guess you can see it has a lot of verticalness to it. And this basically forces you to figure out how to navigate properly.
Hey.
It's not that complicated once you know what you're doing. As you can see, I'm surprisingly enough not getting lost most of the time. But when you're first trying to find all these people, you really do wind up having to learn a lot about how the city is laid out. Because the map doesn't help much. You also learn that NIER can leap tall buildings in a single bound, which is also kind of neat. This last person that we have to find is undoubtedly the hardest of them all. The only other one that might trip you up because they don't give you more specific directions is the childcare lady, who is surrounded by children, so, you know, easy enough to find. The long-winded man is over here. You basically just have to run around the city until you find a newly extant side quest marker. Or, you know what you're looking for. Huh? What? Thankfully, the game just teleports you back to where you need to be. And you get a nice meager compensation. Oh my god! We got 10,000 gold for playing telephone. Facade is a good place. We are also now a go-to guy. That is notable because it is actually the last of the side quest trophies that you can get. I mean, that's it. We haven't even finished 50% of them, and we have all the side quest trophies. Which is something to remember in case you ever just get really angry about getting all the trophies. You don't need to do all the side quests. It's really in your best interest to do the first ones anyway. They're generally a little more unique. They're much faster than the second half. I'm just rambling about things. Here's our side quest guy.
Hey.
Fluorite. No. Now, in addition to telling us where the fluoride is, this poor guy has something else to ask for. You don't know where to find wolf hides. They're on wolves. They're on wolves, and if you just look across the city, there's the material keeper. They have wolves pinned to the wall. Oh well. I happen to have 3 of them. We're gonna want more. And there are, again, 2 methods to getting wolf hides. Which we'll discuss in a minute because I want to talk to him first. That's the quest, The Littlest Hero, no relation to The Little Hero, the story from Drakengard, which, you know what, I'm not even gonna get into it, it was weird. It involved time, and children, and Sarai, who's just... you know what, never mind. Drakengard, it was bizarre.
Does he really think she'll forgive him if he just gives her a fur?
It does seem somewhat materialistic.
Are you guys for real? When someone gives me something for free, I'm happy as a pig in shit.
This world would be a great deal simpler if nothing but Kaines lived in it.
I'll pretend that's a compliment.
If I mention that I really do love these party members. Anyway, Sandspout Wells. These things, you just jump on top of them, drag the block back, and they open up. You have to unlock all of them. There's only, I believe, 4. And, they're basically just fast transit across the desert. I didn't bother unlocking any more because I was looking for that guy.
Hey.
No, kid, no, don't be a hero! Oh dear.
It is my experience that youth is simply a synonym for stupidity.
He just wants to protect his city. I think it's great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's really great.
What? Weren't you the guardian of your village, Kaine?
Yeah, but... Look, all I'm saying is... Don't talk to me.
Is your mouth too full of sand to formulate a crude response?
Look, do you want to die?
Ah, they enjoy each other's company. So he just ran off into the sandstorm. This, above all else, is the reason that you want the Royal Compass as early as possible. Because if you come out here without it, and try and follow him, you can't do it. And I don't know if I just ran into a glitch, or if this is an unfortunate design oversight, or I got headbutted by a wolf while I was doing it. Could be. But I wound up initiating this quest. He wound up going to the wolf den, and I didn't have a compass, didn't know it existed, so I couldn't follow him. I ran around for quite some time trying to figure out how to do so, and eventually found the compass and came back out here. Unfortunately, by the time I had done that, either he was gone, or he was eaten maybe, I don't know. But the game wouldn't let me progress the quest, and ever since then I've really been overly careful about getting this done properly. I just felt kind of bad about it. I don't feel so bad about killing these wolves, though. These guys infinitely respawn out here. I do mean infinitely. You can't get rid of them. But you can find their den. Out here is this weird stairway. And at the end of the stairway is this big door. And behind this door, which I assume requires hands to operate, is the Den of the Wolves, who do not have sufficient hands to operate the door. I guess they can go over it. But this is the wolf den. We can see the pack of them. We can see our not-too-bright fellow trying to take him down. And we can see why I love Dark Phantasm right there. Now, this fight isn't too hard, but you do want to be quick about it. If you waste too much time, and it is entirely possible to accidentally waste too much time, especially if you're trying to farm these guys for wolf hides or something like that. Oh, there's one actually trying to bite. But if you waste too much time, this poor facade citizen can die, and you will get a game over. I mean, if you're just going all out against the wolves, there's not really much of a danger for it. The one time I managed to do that, I really was more focused on hide farming than actual wolf killing. And as you can see, that's over with. And we teleport back to his dad for the good news. The good news being he's not dead. I love this. I love the response to this entire thing. Yes. There's no, oh, good job, son. Good job defeating a pack of wolves. You're a moron, aren't you? Could have come back here and warned us. Or you could have just not stabbed them and they wouldn't have had any reason to kill people. And we get another good chunk of money. Now, for the wolf hide farming, there are two ways to do it. You can either actually farm for wolves. This may or may not take a while. I recall the first time I did this, I basically had to kill wolves for half an hour to get enough hide, but they've been dropping it a lot more frequently on this playthrough for some reason. The other way to do this is just come over here and buy it. Wolf hide is extremely expensive, and again, you're really better off killing wolves a lot. But fortunately, again, I have far too much money. And I have a lot of extra materials that I picked up from everywhere. So I just went ahead and sold everything that I could think of that I knew I wouldn't need. Or at least that I knew that I could regain much more quickly. Including all of my goat meat. And my one goat hide. Oh, that is bullshit. Do you see that? Goat hide is less expensive than goat meat. All that crap to get all that goat hide, and goats. You can see that I'm holding on to a lot of the absolutely excessive amounts of stuff that I got from the junk heap, broken antenna and broken machine parts and all that. And the reason for that is that we're actually going to acquire a weapon relatively soon. No, not the giant egg. We're going to acquire a weapon relatively soon that's going to require a ton of those things. I didn't remember exactly what I needed to upgrade said weapon, so I just decided to keep everything on the off chance that I needed it. Which is fine. I will have plenty of opportunity to sell all of those dental boards someday.
Yo.
And here's the wolf hides. This guy is so pathetic. Now that I'm watching this, it occurs to me that apparently adultery isn't in violation of the rules. Otherwise, that probably would have come up at some point. He did, however, offset all of the money that we spent on those wolf hides, so that's cool. Now... Hold on, I'm trying to remember what I did. I believe that the next thing that I did was... yeah. We're still looking for the son. The little angel who's a dirty liar. And he's off facade.
Eh?
And these people happen to recognize him.
Ah.
Now, he's in the house over there, which I never remember how to interpret over there. Not down there, though. But here's a kid. A kid who is trying to capture a lizard that crawled in the pot because the rules tell them to. And NIER mentions that that rule is really stupid. I disagree, actually. It makes sense to catch lizards that go into pots because they will eat your foodstuffs, and you're in a desert and there isn't a whole lot of foodstuffs to get eaten. Catch the hell out of that lizard, kid. And I will catch the hell out of this kid. Giant shade. Son of a bitch. Well, now it's time for a good old-fashioned chase sequence? Something that resembles that, anyway. He ran outside, we go after him. This is very simple. Oh, we didn't even have an excuse that time. Now, as you can see, he doesn't run that fast, and the objective really isn't to catch him. You just have to kind of sort of follow him. He has certain checkpoints that he stops at. Like, oh, here-ish, top of that hill, other side of that hill, whatever. There he goes. He's so over it. Now, because we can't just, catch him, I decided to take this moment to just go ahead and unlock a couple of sandspout wells while we're here. It won't affect his spawning, so that's easy enough. Note of not particular interest, if you happen to activate this guy and the other kid at the same time, only one of them spawns at a time. You have to run back into facade and then back out to get to the other one. That's a good phrase, Vice. I think I'll try and use that on somebody someday. Anyway, here's 3 out of 4 sandspouts while he's running to his... I think his final location, actually. Hooray! He has hauled ass all the way back to the beginning of the desert. And immediately gets attacked by wolves. Wolves which are actually coming from the other direction. Oh yeah, wolves will try and eat your arm off. If they do, just mash square, and I think NIER basically tries to beat their heads in. And the man with the silly hat finally gives up because he doesn't want to get eaten by wolves. I can't blame him. Anyway, he's back in the village, but we still have a couple things to do out here. There's one more side quest in Facade, but since we're outside of the city already... Yes, okay. Since we're outside of the city already, I decided to just go ahead and run to the Baron Temple to, you know, retrieve the fluorite that's sitting out there. Again, you need the Royal Compass to do this. The game doesn't freak out if you wind up having to get it after you've already tried, but... Oh, hey, here's, more stairs. Something shiny. That's actually a fishing spot down there. You fish in the sand. That makes sense. Ignoring that for the moment, of course, we just run straight to the Baron Temple. There's a convenient sand spout right here. So if ever you want to go to the temple for something, like, say... well, fluorite farming, actually. You can just hop in over here. Anyway, we made it back to the temple. I'm going to dodge roll right the hell inside. For those curious about why I dodge roll, it's faster. That's it. It slices off enough speed that it makes a difference. So... oh, that's one of my favorite journals. I bet Kaine always says nice things. So, the fluorite is fairly deep into the temple, and we need to run all the way through it. Fortunately, all of the tasks are done, and they don't reset. But now the temple is overrun with... oh, dear God, look at all the fur on that thing. It's overrun with giant spiders. Ugh. You can't ignore them. It's easy enough to just run to each location, but... well... hey, I enjoy killing giant spiders every now and again, so why not? This is actually one of the few opportunities you're going to have to do so. So might as well take advantage of it. Same with the bats, but I've learned that if you try and kill the bats, you're basically gonna ruin your platforming, so there's really no point if they're not bothering you. Anyway, spiders. Spiders, I just noticed that his climbing animation is basically a person climbing, but with a couple extra legs thrown in there. So yeah, the spiders. The spiders will spit poison. They will try and get up to... what the hell was that? They'll try and get up onto the ceiling, and then they'll swing around like that, and spit out little tiny baby spiders. Which would be cute if they weren't spiders. So really you're best off just, you know, killing them. Kinda finally took out that one. I just want to make really sure it was dead. Oh, you can see the mandibles and everything. Ugh. I wanted to really make sure it was dead. I'm also poisoned, but it doesn't do significant enough damage to make it important, and it'll wear off on its own anyway, and my main concern is finding fluorite, which is not out here. Now, admittedly, I'm not sure if there is a 100% spawn location for fluorite. I know that once you get this quest, you will always be able to find it somewhere. generally speaking, I've always wound up finding it on that particular bridge, until this time, where it just wasn't there. So of course I immediately ran around like a moron trying to find out where it was, until I assumed that perhaps it's on the other bridge for some reason. Oh, hey, Shades! And there it is. Again, every time I've done this before, the fluorite has always been on the other bridge. I'm not really sure why it spawned out here. Maybe if fluorite would naturally spawn somewhere, it won't auto-spawn in that other place. I don't know. I just know that I got confused, which, granted, not hard. And here's the little shortcut to get back outside without having to do a really weird platforming thing. Incidentally, even though the platforming takes you down, it is entirely possible to platform your way back up. I do not recommend it. I'm not even gonna pretend that wasn't one of the really stupid things I've done before. That was just a really stupid thing that I've done before. So as we come back out, you might have noticed across all my running across the desert that the desert is actually pretty small. Why do you need fast travel? You really don't. But when you can just hop from the Barren Temple straight back to Facade like that, you know, save yourself about 45 seconds of travel, it's kind of nice. And I recall having not opened the Sandspout Wells before, and it actually did get a little bit grating, running back and forth, trying to remember what I was doing. Obviously it's not that bad, but, you know, if you can open the Sandspout Wells, why not? Dip by the mailbox to heal. And cut out me standing there for a while. Now, we got the fluorite, so we should just go back to the guy who needs it. But there's one more quest here. And if you can't already tell by this setup, this is not gonna be a happy one. It's also a little more involved than the other quests. So our first task, is to ask around the immediate area, see who's seen her recently. Down with her boyfriend. Hang out with her boyfriend. Now, I thought there was somebody that you had to talk to down here, but I think that even just those couple of people above... Oh yeah, I almost jumped to the abyss. I think just those couple people above will actually did trigger what happens next. This, for me, is the hardest step on this side quest, because I know that there are people that you have to talk to, but I can never remember which ones exactly. I think I actually managed to do it first try here, and didn't wind up running around Facade for 5 minutes because I got sidetracked. And what we're looking for now is, oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, this can't possibly end poorly. like we have precedent for people being dead at the end. But we've got to great detective our way through this, so... Meanwhile, Vice just makes this go in the best possible direction. It's a crime and it was probably against the rules. Oh. We've been writing in those things, ugh. Still, I went in a bad direction real fast. You can't just leave bodies and sound spouts, though. Might as well, what, bury her? Cremate her? What do they do with this all? That was a graveyard.
There is no body to be found.
What's going on here?
She must have been carried off by the waters. Or the wolves.
Makes sense, I suppose.
Or perhaps the man was mistaken all along.
Yes, I frequently mistake people who are unconscious or sleeping for being dead myself. And of course I try and bury them alive. Although I'm pretty sure he confessed to manslaughter, not murder. That was not premeditated. Or intentional. That's manslaughter, right? I mean, unintentional. Killing of somebody else is manslaughter, not... Anyway. Anyway, time to be the bearers of bad news. You know what, this upsets me way less than that dog did, I'm sorry. Huh? Huh? Oh. I guess he does just mistake unconscious people for being dead. It's okay, NIER. It's okay. Well, I'm glad that didn't end in death.
Huh? Yeah.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
いいね
Yeah.
I feel like he was trying to equate his adultery to not eating the same food all the... It's kinda... Ugh. Anyway, we are through solder. There it is. I like that journal. I bet she's really nice and always says nice things. Anyway, we're through with Facade, so we go ahead and, tell this guy his delivery is done, thank God. Only 3,000! Dude, I got paid 10,000 bucks for playing telephone. Come on.
Hey,
Anyway, we give this jackass his fluorite. Damn. Damn. Indeed.
Do you think it possible that this man is being deceived by his lover?
yeah, I think it's possible.
Then we shall inform him at once.
We'd better not.
Why not? Have you finally found someone you're unwilling to aid?
Relationships are complicated. I know it's hard to understand, but
There is nothing in the world that Grimoire Vice cannot understand.
yeah.
Anyway, we delivered that. And we finally come back to the family with the missing son. It'll be good to see them all happy and together and not at home. And you know what the best part of that is? I can't even get angry at the game. We ran back and forth across the world, and I just...
The Black Scrawl's here too?
That was just such a marvelous troll. Anyway, we've got 51% of the side quest done. That is it for the first half of the game. And we will not be picking up side quests for several updates yet. Nice and over with. Next time, something different.